Back in the Bus podcast coming to you with another comic book review today. Catching up on a little bit of X-Men Red with Miss Genesis on the cover this week. At a return of Genesis in issue 12. I'm skipping ahead. Hold on. I got my guy. I ain't saying, I'm just saying, Mr. Theo Butler. My fault, man.
Do I have an alternate cover? Is that what this is? Wait.
Yeah, you got a variant.
Stormbreakers. Okay, all right.
You got the Stormbreakers cover there. So just kind of freshen up to where we were picking up on this story. At last, I believe Genesis had just come out of the portal, right? Ironfire had made his way back to Araco to try to warn them with the white sword. And that's kind of where Mariama Stern is involved somehow with probably through Orcus, by way of Orcus. So now we probably expected some sort of immediate conflict, right, from Genesis. And that's not exactly what we get early on here in this book, which leads me to believe that this is a little bit different of a Genesis than what we've seen in Ten of Swords, from the standpoint that she was war, more war. Smoke, and more smoke. Like, there's an objective, let's go get it done, and we'll worry about the rest of the stuff later. Right. I don't think she would have been doing this much talking if she was still who she was during the tournament.
Well, it's almost as if, as we'll get on into the story, she's being led somehow by another force. And that force is pretty powerful from what these next few pages gonna show us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. We've got an appearance by a new member vying for the seat of stalemate. Right? Mm-hmm. It is Lycon, the balanced one. and he's anything but balanced, as you'll see throughout this book. But he's Lycon, the balanced one. Just like human beings, most people that tell you they're super objective are the farthest thing from.
Thanks.
Vying for his seat of stalemate there. As the newcomer, Lotus Lagos welcomes him with the knife to the eye.
Ain't that the poet?
We have very different customs.
Is that the poet that hit him with a knife?
Yeah.
That the peaceful one, the one that would write something. Boy, it's tough. It's tough out here. It's hard out here.
They're kind of deliberating over what to do with the information that was given by Ironfire, right? He was sent there from the White Sword with that blade to kind of prepare Araco for Genesis coming. I don't think that he was anticipating her getting there quite this fast because she's literally encroaching on the conversation. And it gives you some interesting panels here on the next few pages of everybody kind of realizing who it is, right? Storm was like expecting it, right? Or Acerta is like shook.
She like, already? Damn, you
yeah, Aurora was ready. Like, she just wasn't expecting her to beat her that soon. Lactuco seems to know exactly who it is from jump. He's not shook in the least bit. And their interaction in this book is very interesting because I ain't seen Lactuca do a bit amount of nothing. Well, I think he helped with Uranos.
Uranos. It's always them quiet ones you got to look out for. That's what they tell you.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Let's see here. Alone without an army. Oh, so Lagos is a little bit confused. Sabanur is extra shook, even more shook than Acerta. Turns heel super quick. Like, no, yes, master. I'm sorry I was even around these mean people. I apologize. Oh. Very peonish.
Yeah, very, very, very much so. Very, very much so. Like, my dog shook for real.
I like how Genesis walks up though and kind of like, it's like, nah, John, go ahead, continue to speak. Keep talking. Don't stop on my account. Please continue.
John, one of them people like John don't care though. We'll find that out later on and everything like that. But John really don't really see her like that. I don't know whether that's smart or foolish, but he don't really see her like that.
As Genesis is kind of getting into her spiel, addressing the council or the ring, the great ring, you're starting to see that some of the characteristics that we saw from the helm, right? That kind of like duality of personality, the kind of evil within driving the vessel, the shell.
Mm-hmm.
It still looks like it's doing that, only from the staff now, right? Like it may be the yoke is a little bit different, but it seems like the property is
You know
kind
what
of
it reminded me of? You know what it's giving me vibes of? And I can't believe I spoke on this. Maybe you and I have or we haven't. It's giving me very Malice vibes.
okay.
The charm, the pendant that was actually possessed, anybody who put
Yeah,
it
okay, I got you. Yeah,
right here. And so, and now I'm asking myself, well, dadgum, how many of these bodiless mutants are out there where they just possessing people through objects and everything? How do you get born like that? Let me ask that question. But it's giving me a lot of Malice vibes. That's what I'm getting here. Rocco has fallen. You see her. It's almost if the person says it before the scepter does, but the scepter does say something, and it's even hinted at that which one? The eyeball. I want to make sure I get the eyeballs name
Thirda
correct.
or Thirda.
Yeah, or Serta picked it up. It's like, wait a minute, it's what? And then it's like the
Oh
scepter
yeah,
rendered.
yeah. She's like, did somebody say something?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
wait, all right, that's a good point. Can everybody hear that, or can only certain people hear it?
Well, I think it's if you are of that ilk, maybe telepathy and definitely the eye is someone who can see everything. So they have heightened senses. I'm thinking if you have heightened senses, on whatever level, you would be able to hear it speak. But the thing is, it's gonna silence you as soon as you acknowledge the fact that you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it did to Order Sarah. They're like, hey, go to sleep. Say, oh man, I'm coherent. I don't even get that. What you mean you coherent? That means you're aware, you conscious.
Right.
But now you stupid. Okay, never mind. Maybe I'm reading. I don't get it.
All right. So Genesis is playing her best Game of Thrones impression, her best Succession impression. It doesn't come out with brute force, but more so politics, political games, right? Points out the fact that, hey man, a soldier who's claiming his undead army has been slaughtered is not unusual. And it makes sense that these folks over here would be trying to drive a wedge in between the Akri and the mutants that are left in Amos. So don't listen to him. Listen to me. Trying to
Right.
seem more reasonable for her eventual, you know, assumption of the throne that she clearly wants back. But I'm interested as to why she's slow playing it the way she is. I think that
I don't think she's in
that's
control.
telling us something.
Like I said, I don't think she's fully in control. I think left to her own devices, her own vices, she would do what she does, but she ain't running this show right now. She ain't running the show right now. And the thing is that an argument could be made as to whether or not at this point in the game she's either a willing or unwilling participant. But she ain't in charge. That's not. I'm not getting the impression that she's in charge.
Yeah, that's tough, man, because she had already dealt with this. So it's not like she has the benefit of the doubt of being like, oh, well, she didn't know how the power was going to be. No, man. Like, we have to take that joint away from you.
That's
We,
why I
we have
said
to
like.
go on a world war to take that joint away from you. So any type of situation where she willingly took this staff back, I can't give her no bail for that. She already knew what was going on.
Exactly. Facts. Big facts. Big facts.
Mhm. John mentions reinforcements that sends Genesis into a tizzy. She shuts him up and begins to address the ring in the old way, talking of the old decree and how they handled things and how they warred and how they didn't lean on things like help and reinforcement and things of that nature. But we know that the decree are different now, right? These are
Mhm.
different people. They've been not softened, but evolved
I,
by their time in the solar system.
the thing is I don't know when they, because okay, right off the heels of Storm Aurora taking the seat, there was acts like these. I don't know what well, of course, it's the plot and everything like that, but they ain't had time to be soft not 1 minute. Like they ain't had time to be on no vacation. Soon as they got there, you had Sinister Nail messing with them and everything, Solaris messing with them. Lethal Legion was there and everything. Like these folks ain't had no downtime. So I understand what Genesis is saying, but no, you could not be farther from the
But
truth.
see, but from her perspective, it doesn't even have to be legitimate, right?
Right.
Like she's planting the seed to let it grow so that it doesn't just seem like she's fighting against Araco. Now she gets to become off as the savior of the old Araco, the Araco that everybody else knew, you know. So it doesn't have to be legitimately that we're worse off because we're acting like this. I think what it was for them was Eric's sacrifice. Eric walked a certain way of life before he came to Araco, and he gave the ultimate sacrifice, just like any Akri would. So that kind of validated the Krakoan mutants for the Akri.
Right.
And so it's not so much of a softening. It's like, oh, it's an acceptance of an alternate way of life, I guess.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But like I said, well, we'll get into it. Keep going. Do your thing.
Okay. All right. Storm's heard about enough. She pops back in and cuts Genesis off and starts to reassert herself in the new way of Araco and how they're doing things. And how, small-minded Genesis is being as them only as warriors and asking her, is that all we are? And then Genesis snaps back with something that a lot of people have been asking Storm here for a few issues, including Emma. Who's this we? You French? Who's this we? Because when shit hit the fan, you were abroad, Miss Lady.
Genesis is the one who can't ask that question, though. Everybody else can, but Genesis can't, because Aurora was there at Araco when it popped up.
Genesis supposedly was holding the hordes of Amenth back there, trying to save the world. So, now she eventually fell victim to it all over again and came back, on some trash. But that's her excuse. That's why she was gone. She had no choice.
Right.
That's what she was saying.
Like, the only time Aurora left Araco was after Uranus. Like they had saw that. Like they was rebuilding. So she was going to Krakoa to deal some diplomatic stuff.
I think they were fighting the what are the superpowered Eternals that they sent out? The Durik sent out first.
Yeah. Them big folk. She was
fighting them, and then by the time she made it back to Araco, it was going down.
Can't be in two places at one time. I just think it's and we know plot device. Of course, Genesis don't know what went down, and probably considering the scepter that she's holding in the hand, as you alluded to earlier, we give two damns. You know what I'm saying?
Pybot speaks up for her. She says that's false. You know what I'm saying? She was instrumental in defeating Uranus. And then Genesis immediately flips it right back on him and is like, defeated or killed? Because I see a lot of bones around here, but he's still alive. And that, again, pre-How Ten of Swords, the Akri wasn't on nothing like that. They were a vengeful people. Right?
Well, watch this. So I was checking this out, right? So Genesis, like, she talked that talk. She like, where were you at? And my dog Sabanur says, the words of the unarmed king, if she wasn't here, he was getting ready to let her know, hey, she was on duty, she was handling business. And then like the stepper got talk that talk, but like you said, I guess his name is what the dude they
Sabanur.
No, not him, the dude who was naked in the pool last issue.
Who was what?
Kobach, never heard.
Kobach, yeah.
Kobach, like, man, I'm not gonna let you sit up here and bump your gum like that. Where was you at? Why you talking? We was here. Yeah. We were putting in that work. She got here and she put in some work. Where was you at? She looking at him like, hey, bro. Matter of fact, you sit in my seat.
Right, yeah. Oh, so he said, run it, smoke now. We can do it right now. Let the ring be the witnesses. Let this ground be our seat. Now they're getting back to that Akri shit. See, that's the real Kree. That's that real Kree.
My dog don't care. Look, my dog went for one issue. I'm finna go challenge for this seat. I guess he won.
Yeah, he won. Yeah, you know he won.
He said he was gonna win, and damn it, he did what he said he was gonna do. Damn it, that's what I'm talking about.
Now, I don't think he has anything for Genesis.
None.
But I like that he was willing. And John Ironfire is not even going to allow it to go down like that, how Genesis is goading him into that, letting it. Like, this is her plan all along. Like, maybe I don't have to throw a punch. Maybe I can just challenge my way onto the ring and win back Araco that way. And so John Ironfire, obviously being tied up by the by the roots of the ground, is cognizant of that and breaks free and says, "Hey, I claim first challenge. I got here first. I've been waiting 1,000 years. You know what I'm saying? Run it. Run
I
me my
want
fade."
the smoke now. I want the smoke now. I want the smoke now. And she just like, too slow.
I
You
want to
gotta be
point something out. I want to point something out, and I just noticed it upon rereading this book. All right, Kobach and Genesis are arguing back and forth. Genesis has just laid down the challenge. Kobach's gonna return it, right? In the middle of that, Storm tries to break it up with a thunderbolt, and then the helm goes miss, and it
That's
lands just right of her foot, right?
the scepter is got some
Hold
far-reaching powers.
on. There's another one, right? Ironfire comes with the white sword, with the sword of purity. He takes a swipe, miss,
Yes.
goes right, just left. Hey, do these powers sound familiar?
Probability altering powers. Yes, they do.
Does it sound like a certain character we haven't seen since she was shunned for assisting in the accident?
Damn.
Who do these powers sound like?
I mean, you know me, I'm gonna be looking at Domino.
Okay, but think of a Omega level Domino. Who is that?
Iska, the unbeaten.
Who is Iska the Genesis?
Sister.
Hey man, is Iska in this helm?
Okay. Since you brought her up,
Is Iska in the helm? Did she somehow get trapped in the helm?
I don't believe Iska is in the helm, but I do believe that Iska is going to play. Now that's just me. You could be right. You could very well be right. I'm not saying you aren't. I do believe that Iska does play a part in this storyline at some point.
She has to. She has to. Genesis back, ain't no way she's not showing up. I just thought that it was very interesting. Like at one point, it kind of seemed like, I mean, even what it was doing with Sabanur, like you said, Sabanur was getting ready to take up for her and be like, "Hey, yo, the Fisher King said she was good. She wasn't here. She had something to do," and he gets stopped dead in his tracks right after the helm speaks.
That's the reason why. Two reasons I didn't look at Iska being part of the helm. One was, to your point, Genesis was acting Aki when they was back there, when she was back there with Apocalypse. You know, he was like, "Hey man, I got this. I'm strong enough to hold you now. I want to do this." That's why I said she may or may not be a willing participant in this. To your argument, I don't believe she's unwilling. I believe like, no, this is the thing that allows her to do what she wants to do. But I believe as we go further in this particular story, she's not the one fully in control. There may be some things where this thing wants war, but Genesis at the end of the day is a tactician, and there may be some, how can I put it? The scepter not being what the scepter should be might lead to the eventual downfall of both it and Genesis, is what I'm looking at. I'll point that out later on in the book. I think you probably read it too and everything like that. But yeah, great catch. I don't believe that's the only thing that gets me to believe that it's not Iska in this, because I don't think she went back to where she was with Genesis and everything like that. I don't believe that. I think they would have gave her something. But hey, they could always do a flashback scene. That's always possible.
Yeah. Okay. So we were on an Iska outlook or Iska.
Yeah, we are.
Iska alert.
Yeah, we on the Iska alert. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So Ironfire obviously misses. Genesis gets her hands on the Purity Ivory Blade. Once again, we get another whisper from the helm or from the staff. Sabanur loses his damn mind, starts attacking Storm. Storm lets him know, "I will blow you to kingdom come if you don't back the hell up."
Now here's the question. Hold on, Paul. Yeah. So the scepter says Genesis is right, and Aurora says what? And that's when Sabanur says Genesis is right. So I'm wondering, because Aurora goes from saying, "I will not allow this Genesis" to what? So I'm wondering if, was it her powers not acting right, or was it she actually heard the scepter? Just asking. Could be wrong.
That's a good point, because we seen or sort of kind of do the same thing earlier in the book, where she kind of picks up. Did somebody say something?
Right.
Kind of one of the last interesting things that kind of happened in this at the tail end of the book. quick conversation between Lactuca and Lotus Lagos. Lotus Lagos is kind of letting them know, hey man, this is not right. Like, you know it's not right. You should intervene. And Lactuca seems very aloof. He's giving off like I'm powerful enough to stop all of this, but like I don't care enough. So, like, why should I even be involved? Lotus Lagos is able to convince him, and he transports Storm, Pybok, Ironfire, whatever the caterpillar person is, and Lotus Lagos all the way, and they leave Homeboy the objective double-headed wolf sitting at the table with Genesis where he would love to be.
I like how he spit that thing though. He said, "The stars move still, Logos. What is a world to me?" Like, man, hey, world, bro. I'm out here in these streets. But then he says,
And yet,
the staff shifts the scales with whispers. So he hears it, or she hears it, or they hear it. And tells Lagos, tip them back then. To be strong is to survive. Save Genesis, rebels of Araco survive.
Survive.
To be strong is to survive. Like, okay, well, rebels, y'all gonna be strong.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay. I'm feeling it. I'm with that and everything. We get the transporter beam. Go ahead.
The caterpillar person is Xylo. That's who that was. She seems to take offense to the fact that they ran, but then
she don't think they ran.
Okay, so yeah, this is interesting, right? So she want to smoke with Pybok, was more than happy to take it from Ironfire. I think she would even fought Storm if it came to it. Lactuca tells her, "Hey yo, if you want to punish me, you can. You want to run your fade? We can. She looks and says, "Nope, they ran. Lactuca has either some sort of control over the staff, or is a threat to the staff, or is a threat directly to Genesis for some reason or another.
What I believe is, because more than one thing can be true at the same time, I don't believe the staff has any power over Latuca. Over what's his name? Is it Latuca?
Who's that? Yeah, Lactuca. Yeah.
I don't believe the staff has any power over them, and I think that's the issue. And it might be where, left to her own reconnaissance, might be stronger than Genesis. We don't know. Might be on the same ability. But the staff was like, I can't do nothing with him. I can't. Let's not do that. I need you to live for me to be able to do what I want to do, and I can't guarantee that's what's going to happen if you run up on this person.
Beautiful final shot here of Genesis with the ivory blade and the staff, standing on the bones of the fallen Kree mutants. That's a damn good page right there. It's a damn good panel.
It is absolutely.
And it's setting the stage for let's see, Genesis 2. What does she say here at the end? The rightful ruler has returned. Wait, no, they wrote that wrong. The rightful rule has returned, or maybe she just speaks weird. And when the true mutants of Araco march to war, it will be under my banner. Ooh, very ominous. Seems like we're setting up for a big showdown between Storm and Genesis. The loyalists of Genesis, be that Mr. Laccoon. Laccoon. I'm gonna call him Laccoon because Laccoon is a little bit nuts.
Right.
But what are your thoughts? Where are we headed with this one?
I like the X-Men Red has always got me where I need to be at the end of the day. So I'm with it.
For sure, man. Very solid book. Keep chugging along, I guess. One of the few within Marvel publication right now, so we'll definitely be keeping up, man. Give us your thoughts on the book. Let us know what you thought. We'll be back next month with another X-Men Red episode. Yo, appreciate you.
So, peace.